me know when you're ready. Hi everyone. Hey, welcome to our latest Facebook Live here in New Jersey at Z1 Concept. My name is Brian Grieve. I'm the Director of Education for North America. And yet again, we're excited to be sharing some awesome information with you. Well, hopefully that's what it's going to be. We have a marvelous guest artist with us today, and I'm delighted to share a couple of little pieces of information about this young lady. She recently opened her new salon for the first time just 2 weeks ago. So how marvelous is that? So congratulations, that's a fantastic achievement, and we're very, very excited to have her here to help us make that decision about which lightener would you choose for which outcome are you looking for with our Decologic lightning system. So it gives me great pleasure, all the way from Point Pleasant on the Jersey Shore, the wonderful Holly Boswick.
Thank you,
Holly.
Brian. Hi everybody.
So Holly, what's happening for us today?
So today,
let's get right into it.
We are going to show you a combination of some balayaging techniques along with some highlighting techniques to achieve the perfect blonde utilizing our Decologic collection.
Good, and what's exciting about this is using that combination of techniques and combination of lighteners, because sometimes we don't always think to do that, do we, Holly? So
right.
I think it's a great combo that Holly's brought to the table, and I know that she uses this a lot in the salon. And we talked earlier, didn't we, that we really need to be sharing and giving to you salon-friendly techniques that you can feel you can take right from this Facebook Live and use them in your salon.
Correct.
And you're going to be breaking that down. So do you want to share, Holly, what you prepared earlier? It's like a cook show, isn't it? A little something I prepared earlier. So talk us through it, yeah?
So on Sophia, I did this beautiful combination of highlighting and balayaging to create this perfect blonde blend. She's a darker base, a natural level 6, would we say. So we just wanted to create a beautiful melt with this nice buttery honey blonde through her ends. And yeah.
Awesome. Looks great, lovely and shiny.
Yes.
That's the other thing with Decologic, isn't it? It's the integrity of the hair. Fantastic. But the other thing that we wish to share, and I love the fact you used the word buttery and honey, because not everybody needs to be icy cold platinum,
right.
And especially, you know, the challenge when you have this darker hair.
Yes.
I would almost say she's a level 4, 5. You know, it's a little dark.
Yes.
And you know, it's very difficult in a salon environment, isn't it, everybody out there? Because you know, those clients come in and they think you have a magic wand and you can do it in 1 hour. Boom, from here to platinum. Yeah.
Yes.
So we keep it real, and we're excited that Holly's going to be sharing the breakdown. We have a couple of panels of hair that she's going to work on right now, so we're getting straight into the technique.
Perfect.
Is that correct?
Yes, that's
so
correct.
Do you want to explain where you're going, and then we'll start mixing for you if you
sure.
let our viewers know exactly what you're going to do, where you're going to start, and the reason why. And I'll start mixing your first color for you, your first lightener. Okay.
So with our model today, what I did over here on these quadrants is I started in the back with the balayaging technique and worked from the bottom up. So by doing this, you create some lightness from underneath, some dimension from underneath, and then I follow up with some highlighting on top to just get her nice and light, especially right at the crown and around the face where everybody kind of wants to see that lightness. I took diagonal back sections starting from the bottom and worked my way up to about here, and then you'll see as I move up, I'll go ahead and with that diagonal foiling technique across the top.
Awesome. Okay, if you want your comb.
Thank you.
Now, as I'm mixing now, Holly's starting with the Decologic clay balayage lightener, which is a very, very unique product for those of you that are less familiar. It's very, very creamy. We're doing a 1:2 mix ratio here, and also we've started off with 30 grams of powder. And with milkshake lighteners, we really recommend that they're measured so you have the correct balance. So we have 30 grams of powder, 60 grams of 30 volume, and we're also going to add in some Safe Lightener Complex, which comes in individual packets now for those of you that, again, are maybe not so familiar. And each packet is a 5-gram packet, which is the equivalent mix for 30 grams of powder. So we take the packet and we just apply that into the mix, and this is going to help with the reconstructing and protecting the hair, along with all the great ingredients that we have in the lightener. So that's your Color Specifics Safe Lightener Complex. Marvelous product. Okay, so we'll carry on there, and I believe that Holly's ready. So then that whips up into like a really, really silky mix, and very, very nice to apply to the hair. You can see that there if I drop it. See, just very silky. But as the air gets to it, it will start to firm up slightly. And then I'll have Holly explain the benefits of our particular balayage clay lightener. Okay, there we go. All right, off you go, Holly.
Absolutely. So as you can see here, I took a very small section. You want to make sure you can see through that hair. If you have a section that's too dense, you're not going to be able to saturate it all the way through, and that's how you kind of end up with some of those lines and lines of demarcation. So you want to just kind of make sure that you can see through those sections of hair.
I think that's a great piece of advice, because you sometimes get the sense that, you know, sometimes unfortunately we're always in a hurry.
Yes.
And because of that, we'll take bigger sections, and then you're never going to get that really soft blend, are you? Because it will probably look a lot more possibly patchy.
Absolutely.
You're not going to get the saturation on the hair.
Yes.
So that's excellent advice.
And
Good.
something I prefer is when you're working with somebody who maybe has a little bit of a denser texture hair, you may want to consider just leaving out some in between if you're running short on time versus taking bigger sections. You're gonna get a better, more polished end result if you work with smaller sections and leave out some more hair.
Excellent.
So that's a good
again,
alternative.
another, yeah, because again, you can carry on.
Sure.
I'll keep chatting to the camera. What's really important with balayaging techniques is to really encapsulate what the word balayage meant, which is a sweeping, soft highlighting effect on the hair. We've gone a little crazy with it sometimes, and I feel like the hair just gets completely painted with a little piece left at the top. I think some of you all know what I mean with that, which is absolutely fine. But when we want to show a more consumer-friendly version, especially on the type of hair that we're dealing with here with Holly's model, it's very, very important to not go too over the top with it all. So you can see the gentle stroking motion working with the clay balayage lightener. So now you're bringing in the fabulous milkshake board.
Yeah, so I like to bring in the board, especially working towards those ends to make sure you're getting really good saturation. It just kind of gives you a platform to work off of to make sure you're saturating that hair all the way through. And it's okay to use some sweeping back and forth motions to ensure that is completely saturated through the end. And then just work your way up a little bit and make sure you're giving yourself a nice blend all the way through.
So would you say that you're like kind of feathering that?
Yes, absolutely. Feather that lightener up. Make sure you're getting a nice blend. You don't want to see any harsh lines. If you do, sometimes I'll just kind of take my fingers and run it through, and you'll see that'll just kind of soften that line right there on the end.
Excellent. Oh, could you show that again? I think that was really good. Let's come in close on that, because Cara's coming close.
Yeah.
Once again, our fabulous videographer, if you want to use for a better word, the lovely Cara Lee, who's part of our New Jersey education group as well. She's here.
Hey everyone.
Hey everyone. And Cara's been a model. She films. She's a sort of miss of all trades, if you like, and just spent a wonderful week with us in Italy, our very first trip out of the country. So,
Amazing, yes.
Yeah, so she's all inspired and exciting. So, tell us what else you're using here.
So I am going in with one of our soft stripes, especially right here on the bottom. I like to keep very clean sections, everything nice and clean. I like to try to keep the lightener off of the client's cape as much as possible. So I do like to utilize these soft stripes. They are reusable. They clean up very well. So, I mean, they're a great tool to have, especially when you're balayaging.
Absolutely. And for those of you that are unaware of soft stripes, these are exclusive to Z1 Concept, and we do provide them through your distributor. What's fantastic with this product is the lightweightness. They're almost weightless, so they become very, very comfortable when you're working with the client. They're see-through, so you can watch the processing. And here's the extra part. If you're able to just rinse them off, dry them, you can reuse them. And they don't disintegrate. They look like they would fall apart, but they don't. It's an incredible fabric. So check those out. They're called soft stripes. I'll actually lift up the little box, bring it into you here. And this is what the box looks like. They come in this big black box. Soft stripes. And marvelous. Now the thing is, what Holly's doing here, because she's using the clay balayage lightener, what's unique about the clay, our particular clay balayage lightener, is it encapsulates the hair. So once the lightener is applied to the hair, it starts to form an outer barrier, almost like a cocoon, because of the lattice work of the Brazilian clay. Very, very unique. And what that does is it protects the hair from the neck section coming down. So there is no need to create separation. You can lay the neck section on top. And then what happens is the outside starts to slightly, would I say, harden, dry out, but don't be concerned, because inside the hair stays very moist. So it's a very, very unique lightener. And it will give you up to 4 levels of lift, so it's not quite as high because it's a slightly more gentle action, but it's a very, very unique product to work with. And I know that this is one of those particular go-to products for Holly.
Yes.
Would you agree, Holly?
Absolutely, and I
When
love...
when you said to me, you know, when we were planning this little gig for today, that was one of your go-to products, and we were excited about that. Because there are 5 lighteners in the Decologic family. We have a white lightening powder and a blue. There is the level 9, which Holly will be using in a little while. We have the clay balayage, and we have the total roots, which is the ammonia-free option that we have as well for hair that's maybe more compromised, fragile, fine.
Yes.
Okay. So anyway.
So
what
on
else
this
do you want to share
section
with
here,
us?
like you were just discussing, that clay creates almost like a capsule on the hair. So you are able to just lay it right on top of the next section. So sometimes I kind of vary back and forth using these soft stripes. Just kind of leaves me a little more organized. There's not so many of them, and I can almost watch what the hair is doing. So I am going to just leave that one right there and not use another soft stripe on top, because again, like Brian said, you can lay it right on top of the other hair and there will be no transfer of product.
Excellent. And I love the way that Holly's given us different options so that we can feel confident and comfortable with products, because, you know, when somebody says to you, oh, you don't need to separate that section, lay it down on top. What are we like as hairdressers? We're like, really? So it's great that Holly's choosing to share that element with you, especially with the clay balayage lightener.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So, Cara, what's happening? Is there any questions coming in?
No questions so
No
far.
questions?
But if
My
anybody has
goodness.
any questions, please
Yeah.
tune in. I promise I will read them aloud so we can get those questions answered, especially because there are so many lighteners in the collection. There are plenty of things we need to know and learn for our guests coming in every day.
Exactly. So remember, the clay balayage lightener gives you up to 4 levels of lift. So if you're using it on a slightly lighter base, you're going to get a slightly paler blonde. This will not be as pale, but that's why Holly's using it on the underneath. Because remember, we talked about that buttery, honey colored blonde. So I think it's really important to offer varied services when you use your lighteners. And with Milkshake and Decologic lightening system, we've now given a whole family of lighteners, from a clay balayage, level 9. Now the white lightener it's a progressive lightener. It just works very, very slowly, gives you up to 6 levels of lift, and will give you a slightly more golden blonde. The blue lightening powder, now some of you may remember that as light 10 blue, and it was slightly modified to include the cranberry extract. It did have the silk proteins, but that's already been, increased as well for the integrity of the hair and to strengthen, because silk proteins are incredibly reparative and keep good strength in the hair. And that will also give you up to 6 levels of lift. But the difference with the blue lightener, it has a faster action at the beginning of the processing. So the first 20 minutes is what we call, it will slightly spike, and then it slows down and levels out, and will also reach to 6 levels of lift. Okay, so the white powder and the blue give you the same levels of lift, although the blue will be a slightly cooler finish because it has some tonality in the powder to help counteract that yellow.
And that's why sometimes I like to use more than one lightener.
I love that idea. I love the fact you use more than one.
Yeah, it's great because then you get different dimensions throughout the hair.
Yep.
You're not getting one solid color all over, and especially that's why I like to intermix the 2 techniques of highlighting or foiling and balayaging, because you just see all those different tones that you get from the different kinds of lightener and, you know, different patterns, so it doesn't look so perfect.
There you go.
Yes.
Because no head of hair really is ever one color, is
Right.
it? So it's good to have what we call dimension.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dimension keeps it natural.
Yes.
There you go. And also, it's, you know, it's opening up the suggestion, you know, to our viewers that you know, you can mix and match your lighteners, yeah,
Yeah.
to create more dimension in the hair, especially for somebody that is particularly looking for maybe a more subtle highlighted balayage effect, not such a powerful, you know, all over and then maybe toned with a silver or something. You know, it's not everybody that wishes that.
Right.
So, here we go.
I really love these Heady blondes right now. They're so beautiful. You know, we're going into summer, so blonde, of course, is very popular, and you know, everybody is so quick to just kind of go for that cool icy blonde, but we do have other options that are absolutely gorgeous. So this is...
And then if you think about Holly's model, and I know she lives in that southern part of Jersey as well, which is very famous in the summer. Many tens of thousands of people descend on the Jersey Shore.
Yes.
So that hair then is going to be exposed to salt water, sunlight.
Right.
So what do you think is going to happen? It's going to get lighter. So it will do it naturally through the elements as well. So sometimes we don't have to go completely crazy, because at Milkshake we're very keen on the integrity of the hair. It's a very important word within our makeup. We have a whole line called Integrity, which is very reparative on the hair. So you know, it's very important that we don't, you know, overly damage the hair. It's all about keeping it beautiful. So can you see how silky that's applying for Holly onto the hair? Awesome, great. Now, in preparation for using the Decologic lighteners, we really do recommend from the Milkshake range the deep cleansing shampoo. It's something that really helps to give you the best platform when you're applying your lightener, because the deep cleansing will remove any free radicals out of the hair. And we never know, because your hair sometimes is like a sponge. It just attracts anything that's in the atmosphere. And sometimes it could be carbons or metals, and that's something, you know, we might often get a reaction.
That's correct.
Maybe a little adverse that we're not very happy about. It's good to cleanse the hair prior. Even one shampoo and then dry the hair off roughly, get it ready, and it gives you the best platform. You know, it's the best canvas to work on. We have to remember now, lighteners are more advanced than they used to be. The emulsions that we use are very conditioning from our creative line, which we recommend to use in our lighteners. So we've used the 30 volume. And these contain so many valuable ingredients, including milk proteins and Integrity 41, which is a very important ingredient that helps to you know, repel all those free radicals, and that don't let it stain the hair. It helps to protect color, so it's very important. It's very unique. It's a patented ingredient to Milkshake, Integrity 41, which is the oil from a sunflower seed, and it's 41 times stronger than vitamin E.
And
I hope you like that little info bite. Look
Yes.
at that. Hey,
That's
I'm on
my
it today.
favorite.
I'm on it. There you go. All right, so
And I absolutely recommend doing that. I did do that with our model today. If you have the time, it's definitely worth it to just take that extra step. If you know you're going to have that client prior to the appointment, you could always send that home with them, have them do that at home prior to coming in for their...
Great advice, yeah.
Yes.
And again, for the, you know, for our stylists looking in, if you have deep cleansing shampoo as a retail product in your salon, what an opportunity. Because the clients will cooperate with you. If you ask them to shampoo their hair before they come for their appointment and don't put anything in their hair, I mean, is that helping you? Absolutely. So, you know, always look at your great opportunities. So you tell me when you're ready for your next lightener, and I'll go ahead and get it ready.
You can get it ready. I just have... I'll probably go in with 2 more small sections here, and then I'll head into...
Look at me being a great assistant.
Yeah, you are. You're great.
All right.
Thank you, Brian.
So preparation is in the name of the game. That's what it is. You know, fail to prepare, prepare to fail.
Typical coach line.
There you go. But you know, we set everything up, and so it makes Holly's job just that little smoother. You know, so when you're assisting, it's very, very important to really focus on that because it's a very important job.
Now you probably saw this previous section that I did here. I did tease a little bit. I just want to show you that there's different ways to do this. Balayaging has really come a long way over the last few years, and there's so many different ways to do it. So try different things. Sometimes I like to just kind of tease the hair up slightly because when you have a smoother texture hair, sometimes it'll just create a really beautiful blend just by adding in that little bit of tease right there at the top. And then you have that nice section that you can see through.
And I like the fact that you said a small amount of teasing,
yeah,
because otherwise sometimes the hair gets like really tangled, doesn't it, when you're trying to remove the color, and it's very uncomfortable for the client.
Yes, and when you do remove this, you just want to make sure you remove it the same way it went in. So if you're pushing that hair and back combing it upwards, when you go to comb out that tease, you just want to bring the hair down. Same way you pushed it up, just bring it back down, and that'll prevent any tangling.
Awesome, great. Okay, so I've prepared Holly's next color. So as she's finishing off that section, I'll share that with you. So we're now on to our level 9, which I know many of you love to use. This is the level 9 packaging. You love the packaging. It always looks like little Haagen-Dazs ice cream pots, I always think. Very cool. And remember also, these are very respectful of the planet. You know, we've entered into that, especially, you know, being a European-based company, we're very keen on helping to protect the planet. So big kudos to that. So when you mix up the level 9, you'll see it's actually like a gray color. And it's because of the pigmentation inside of the lightener. It will help to push extra unwanted warmth out of the hair as it's lightening. Then giving that impression that the hair is lighter and lighter than before. So that's the whole point of that. You'll notice that the clay is more like a white color, and the level 9 is a gray color, which actually then starts to turn like white. But at the moment it's gray. So we're getting that ready now for Holly. There we go.
Thank you, Brian.
Awesome. All right.
So I just went ahead and used that soft stripe on that last section just to divide up. Now I'm going to go into a foiling technique across the top.
Awesome. All right, so I'll swap over your lighteners for a moment.
Thank you. This just helps keep all of your sections nice and clean. Clean sectioning is always really important in anything that you're doing, especially hand painting, balayaging, foiling. So make sure you just keep your sections nice and clean so you know where everything is going and you can see where the natural hair is falling.
Okay, great. Are you still using your bowl?
I'm all finished with that.
You're finished with that?
Yes.
Okay, I'll put that over here. And while Holly's getting ready, many of you will probably know that we have our bi-monthly magazine that our fabulous Christine always puts together. We're always very proud of this. And each 2 months there's always great opportunities for all the stylists, and look what's in the center pages. It's all about Decologic and the whole Decologic family, and there are some marvelous opportunities for you to get set for summer.
And look, the two that we're using are right next to each other.
There you go, look at that. See that, Holly? That's like magic. The two products are right next to one another.
Yes.
So check this out if you haven't already. It's called Beauty Zone, and it's a great magazine that we have every 2 months. And of course on the back cover we also have Decologic. So you can see this is the May-June issue, so we were getting well prepared for summer coming on. And I don't know where you are, all of you, but we've got an 85-degree day today here in New Jersey.
Yes, let us know where you are.
Yeah, let us know where you are. Where you coming in from? Come on, let's get some action going. Let's get some, let's share. Give us one or two of your questions. Okay, look at that. Very nice, neat application.
So I'm coming in on a diagonal back section. I like working on a diagonal on this portion of the head, especially in the crown, because it flows very nicely. You don't see any of those lines of demarcation as you do when you kind of come up the back sometimes. So I like to work on a diagonal. It just flows really beautifully.
Excellent. You know, and I think that's, again, it's a great tip from Holly, because diagonal actually helps to flow with the curvature of the head.
Correct.
Too often we go to horizontal. Well, that's a square against a curve, if you think about it that way. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You always want to work with the curve of the head.
That's it. Work with the curvature, and you get a much softer blend in, don't you? You don't get like you say that very kind of solid demarcation line. So, excellent.
We've got Syracuse, Rochester, Nashville. We've got
Woo-hoo.
British Columbia, Canada. And
Look
hi,
at
Nicole,
that.
our very own Nicole, who just
Wow.
got married. Congratulations.
Oh,
British
congratulations.
Columbia.
Yeah.
Who just got married?
Our Nicole.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, excellent.
MRK Beauty, thank you for loving Milkshake. We love you back.
Oh, MRK, hey, MRK people, awesome.
So I did kind of just feather that lightener up a little bit. We don't want any solid lines there at the top. So I did stay just slightly off the top of that foil and then feather.
Okay, and I think we missed that because we were so excited listening to who's all looking in. So would you repeat that on the next section?
Absolutely.
There you go, and then Cara can come in a little closer, and we
Sure.
can like really see how you you know, really kind of practice that technique. And I noticed that one cool thing with Holly, she has what I call very light hands. You know, her hands are very soft and gentle, and I think that's so key, especially with a technique like this, isn't it? You can't really go in
Absolutely.
heavy-handed because you're going to like put too much product in not the best place.
Right.
So great. Okay, so we'll get you doing the next section, and then oh, okay, I'll get out of the way. So I'll voice over.
Nope, I just wanted to turn her so I can get a better angle
There
for
you
the
go.
viewers.
Okay.
I like to alternate the width of my weave. So I typically do 2 finer weaves, and then you'll see my next weave will be a little bit thicker. Again, because you don't want everything to look the same. You want everything to look natural, and you want that dimension throughout the hair.
Go.
Don't worry, Coach is never in the way.
I was like, okay, I'm banished from the frame. I love that, but you can probably still hear my voice, people out there. There you go. Excellent. No, I'm as intrigued and as excited as everybody else, because isn't it wonderful to, you know. Let me just backtrack on that slightly. The recent trip that we had with the Italian education experience last week that Cara was on, we had a group of over 40 stylists with us, and we did some educational work. We did a presentation, inspiration, hands-on. But one of the beautiful aspects that came back to myself and Gerard here with the team was how many people have really enjoyed the Facebook Lives. Because they can take little snippets, they can have little info bites, little pieces of information. You know, I love the way Holly's been using the soft stripes, and then I'm loving this idea, which is like feathering that lightener back up towards the root area. So that may be something that maybe not everybody does, you know. So it's excellent, and we're always happy to share, and that's what a lot of the attendees in Italy said. We love those little pieces of information that are given to us on the Facebook Live. So excellent.
Yes,
Nice
so
job,
remember we
Holly.
can watch
Nice
this
job.
later. This stays up on the Facebook page, so if you know anybody who's missed this, you can always tune back later on. This will stay up.
Cool. All right, so as Holly's moving through, are you making a slight change on this section? So I'll let you explain that again.
Yeah, so I am going to go in with a little bit of a thicker weave here. I also want to point out, when you are folding these foils, you just want to make sure that you are folding them right to the edges of your section. Sometimes if you leave too much overhang, you'll see when I fold this next one, but if you leave too much overhang over here on the edge, it's going to get in your way when you move up to this next section, and also your foil won't be as tight. You want them nice and tight in there so they don't move around, they don't slide.
Good, cool. Another good tip there. Excellent.
So I'm just going to skim off the top.
So our wish is that all our viewers you're enjoying this and picking up these little tips. Oh, I see. So you've gone for like a little bit wider of a weave this time.
Right.
Do you want to hold that up so everybody can see? There you go. Look at that. I'll move out the way so you don't have my jacket in the way. Can you see that? There's almost a larger separation, which gives you, again, more dimension with your colouring.
Right.
Excellent. Okay, I'll hold this section.
Andrea says, hello, I love the Facebook Live sessions. Keep them coming.
All right, we are, Andrea. We will.
Hi, Andrea. Thank you.
Remember, we're not even done with this one, but we have the next one scheduled also in June with Gerard Crusoe, our creative director, and another one of our New Jersey educators, which quite a few of you know. The very charming Dylan Foster will be in the house, so watch out for that one. I'll reconfirm the date with you just in a moment, because we're very, very invested as a company, Z1 Concept, Milkshake North America. We're very... Right, let me close up for a minute so you can share that technique again. I think it's very important.
So I just pulled that hair up, make sure that's nice and saturated all the way through the end. And then again, just coming up to the top here and feathering that lightener up.
There you go, that's the key. Would you say that's the key element?
Absolutely.
As well with the saturation all the way through, but this is very important, I think, yeah?
Absolutely, because that's gonna leave you softness. And it's also going to help so when your client's hair grows out, you don't see where that growth really sits.
It's not as obvious, yeah.
Yes.
It's not like a line, is it?
Yeah.
More like what you would call like diffused.
Correct. Because you want them to feel great all the way through until their next appointment.
Awesome. Great stuff.
And again, folding that foil nice and tight to each side of where you took that section of hair so that you don't have that foil moving around too much and it's out of your way for that next section.
Fantastic. Okay, and you're on your last section now, on the top.
Right.
Do you want to sit down slightly, or are you good? You all right for the height?
Yeah.
Yep, you're fine. Okay,
Thank
marvelous. Okay, so this time, is your weaving a little finer?
Yeah, so this last one I'll weave a little bit finer and I'll leave that section out in between because again, that will just kind of give you some nice movement in there, so everything's nice and solid.
This is something that we famously used to call, and this really helps with the growing out process. It's not as obvious, and classically in the industry we would call this a veil. You would leave out a very fine veil of hair and it just kind of disperses itself, doesn't it, across that top section. So I love that. I love to see that veil coming back into trend, if you like. Thank you, Holly.
Absolutely.
All right. So, Cara, I hope everybody's enjoying this out there.
Seems like it.
Let us know, people. This is very exciting for Holly. You know, remember 2 weeks ago she opened her very first salon, Wild Orchid Beauty Lounge. Did I get that right?
You got that right.
Woohoo! So check that out on Instagram, and also what's Holly Beauty, isn't it? Is your other handle?
Holly B Beauty.
Holly B Beauty. Oh, don't forget the B.
It's okay.
Coach B. Coach B forgot the B.
I'm going to give her extra praise because she opened her salon literally 2 days after our North America show here in Fairfield.
Yeah.
So she was featured in that show, and then her salon opened just a couple days later.
Oh,
so.
it's all about Holly. Here we go. Because what happened, unfortunately, for those of you that don't know, for the very first time in my existence with Z1 Concept here in North America, I missed an event because I was unfortunately a little ill, and young Holly here stepped right into the breach with Gerard and did a marvelous job at the New Jersey show. So
Thank you,
very proud of you for that. So anyway, thank you. I'll step over this side now.
You're getting lots of praise, Holly.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it.
Sometimes I'm fabulous.
You are fabulous.
Oh, okay. Thank you. You know me, Cara. I'm always looking for just a little praise. No, stop it. Remember, it's all about Holly today. She's doing a great job. So what's happening next now, Holly?
So now I'm going to move to this front section. Around the face is really, really important. You want to make sure that you keep everything really soft, but we want it nice and bright. You want to see that brightness around her face.
Excellent.
So I like to come in on a diagonal here as well. Very, very close to the front of the hairline.
Oops, all right, we'll get another one.
Yeah, we have a whole bunch over there.
There you go. There you go.
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah, perfect.
So I like to come in nice and close. We can even skim a little bit more off right in here. And work with a nice fine section here. And we're going to weave that nice and fine.
Excellent. And are you still working with the level 9?
So I'm still working with the level 9. I'll work with the level 9 probably through all of the rest of my foils. You can mix it up. You can use something else, especially if you want different lift in different areas. But I prefer a level 9 around the face, especially when I'm working with a color like this.
Yeah, excellent. I thought that. Good, good. So again, another little tip. So Holly's incorporated the clay balayage liner in the underneath. Now the great thing also if you think about this, while she's working away with the rest of the head of hair, would it be safe to say, Holly, you've got no worries with what's going on under here?
No,
This is not going to
absolutely
go
not.
beyond anything.
No.
How many times have we gone, oh my God, we've got to get those foils out underneath?
Right.
That's why this is a brilliant technique.
Yep, that's why I love working with the balayage clay lightener back here, because it lifts up to 4 levels. So you're really just getting a beautiful sun-kissed blonde underneath, and you don't have to worry, like Brian said, about it, going too far, becoming too light, or being concerned with those.
Or over processing,
Right.
the hair gets dry.
Right, and being concerned
Yeah.
with that back section.
Okay, beautiful. So again, I think that's another great tip for the viewers.
So again, usually with this section of the hairline, you will see like a little, space right in here. It's okay, just work right with that. Don't take a bigger section. Nice and small is perfect, and then you just weave out what you have in there.
I think this is very important because most clients, they're not overly worried sometimes through here, but they would like that brightness, don't they, around the
Absolutely.
face. It sort of illuminates the skin. Fantastic. Awesome. All right. Good. And then we've got a couple of other education opportunities to be sharing with you in a moment. And I want to also share another observation, which I think is be fabulous. We'll see if anybody picks up on it. I would want one of the viewers to say, I noticed that too, and we'll maybe send you a prize. Oh,
I love prizes.
Get interactive.
oh my goodness, did the viewing figures just go up there? Coach, please giving a prize away. Careful what you wish for though, it could be a night out with me. You never know. Why are you laughing so loudly, you two?
Or like in Italy, how it was promised that somebody would get a whole week with you at their salon as their assistant.
As this, yeah, I got volunteered. That was awesome. Never mind, it's all good. Listen, Z1 Concept, Milkshake, No Inhibition, we are all about serious education, but we like to have fun because wouldn't you say as hairdressers, we are a fun industry? Or
Absolutely.
we never want to lose that. I mean, I've been in the industry, this is my 43rd year, and I'm still having fun, and I think that's really what's kept it fresh. I think when you lose the fun element, you maybe have to rethink it for yourself. So
I agree.
never be frightened to have fun, but always keep your eye on what you're doing. Keep the standard of your work very, very high. And that's exactly what Holly's doing right now. Now, this was a little surprise to me. I just want to share something. There's something I'm hoping maybe others have noticed. Let me fold this over. I want you to, I'm going to have Gara come in closely on the little flyer for today's Facebook. Okay, can everybody see that? How interesting is the colour of Holly's hair there?
Bum, bum,
Bum,
bum.
ba-dum, bum, bum. Then she turns up on the stage at the New Jersey show, and I was like, who's that on the stage? Because I was like watching it, somebody was filming it for me. I could not believe her hair was so light. I was like, you shocked me. I mean, she looks fabulous, but wow. Because I've always known Holly like with her, variable, darker hairs, maybe a few light pieces, but I mean, to go this light,
Yep.
looking fabulous, and she looks great.
That's because she's from down the shore, and when it
Yeah,
gets
she's
nicer
getting
out,
ready
she's
for
gonna
the summer. There you go.
Love it.
That's it.
So I wonder if anybody else noticed that, because you really do look quite dark in here, don't
I
you?
do.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah, I was
Almost a
dark.
little bit like your model.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, so we're cooking along. So what's going to happen with the session today? As all of you can appreciate, there's no way you can do all this and have it ready and all back within the time that we have allotted. That's why Holly shared the area that was already pre-done, so you had a sense of the color. We will be processing her great model here, and we'll then be posting out some still images of the finished look on the Milkshake North America Facebook page. So check back in, and also the formulas will be put there for you too. Okay, so make sure to look back in this afternoon. We'll post those images. Okay, because I hope you appreciate it's. Remember, the clients expect to get this done in an hour. We all know it doesn't happen, and
That's right.
it doesn't happen in a Facebook hour either.
No.
So we're keeping it very rare. Okay, so talking about education, let me share something else that's very, very exciting for the upcoming future. As we'll leave Holly just to carry on for a minute, I wanted to share to the viewers. Those of you that are looking for what we call a New York experience, we've set up a marvelous opportunity for you to come to hang out with us here in New Jersey, and we're going to be taking you into New York City for a whole experience. Then you're going to have 2 days of hands-on color your cut or cut your color. Which way is it going to be? So we're going to reveal that, and that's myself and Gerard Caruso will be hosting and facilitating this marvelous event. It's the first time we've offered this, so check in. You can always check us here or ask your representatives or your distributors, and it gives you all the details. And man, we're going to have a great weekend together. If you want to be inspired, this is the one for you. And the actual dates are July 13th, 14th, and 15th, if you want to get that in your calendar. Okay? If you have this magazine, there's a slight typing error where it goes to the 16th. The 16th doesn't exist. So 13, 14, 15. Okay? So I hope that teases you as well. This is us at Z1 Concept and Milkshake North America. We're bringing you more and more education because we really, really believe in it. And thank you to all of you for supporting us. And we love the fact that we've had such great feedback with the Facebook Lives. Okay, Holly, back to you. What's happening now?
Sure, so I'm just moving right on up this section, and then we'll just go ahead and go along this mohawk section we have here. But this is where I want everybody to pay attention, a lot of attention to what they're doing. So this piece right here, you have to remember, falls right in front of her face. So this is a really important key point. So as you reach this section right here, because it's, you know, the furthest point up on her hairline, make sure that you are grabbing this right here when you go ahead and foil that in. That's going to allow you to achieve that nice lightness around her face.
Good. And again, I want to pick up on a technical point that's recommended by the company with the level 9. With the foiling technique that Holly's chosen to do, it's recommended that the mixing ratio is 1 to 1.5. Almost, it's the same as the Creative Permanent Hair Color or Smoothies, for those of you that are familiar with that. And we recommend 10, 20, or 30 volume maximum because of the lifting power of the lightener. We look to avoid the 40 volume. You can use 40 if you're doing freehand.
That's correct.
Okay, so just be aware of that because the foils create more heat, so it does generate more lift. Okay.
And we have a question from Kim. Excuse me.
Kim.
Is there an advantage to foiling this way in thirds opposed to half? What exactly do you mean by third compared to half? Just so we can get you a clear answer, Kim.
I'm trying to work out what that means, Kim.
yeah, I want to give you a good answer, so.
Okay, break that down, Kim. We love your question.
I think what she means, I mean, I'm not totally sure, but I think what she means is I'm folding the foil in thirds opposed to folding in half.
Oh, okay, with the foils, okay.
Yes,
Good
I'm
catch.
doing that because her hair is a little on the finer side. So I like to fold that foil 3 times to get a really good grip in there so none of them slide around on me.
Great.
It creates more security. It kind of locks the foil so they don't slip, yeah?
But there are times that I will foil and just fold them in half. You know, obviously if you can prevent less folding, you reduce that risk of getting any creases.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's really just personal preference.
I think it's very good for secure.
Yeah.
It secures the hair.
Plus it's lying nice and flat, as you can see. Really nice and clean.
Okay, awesome. And also to support the Decologic Lightning system, the family, we produce these little technical booklets that give you all the information that's required. As we say, this is like the level 9 that Holly is using at the moment. It gives you all the recommended mixing ratios, tells you exactly what's recommended with the processing time as well. And sometimes we've got to be careful with processing time because maybe we remove the lightener too quickly.
Yes.
You know, please forgive me, but we seem to be in a hurry and we always want to speed things up.
Right.
I think you really need to let the lightener do its work because remember, it keeps working. And sometimes we pull it off maybe 5 minutes too early and go, oh, it's a little yellow. If we'd left it that extra 5 minutes, we probably would get more the desired result. Would you agree with that, Holly?
Yeah, and I feel like in the long run, you're going to save yourself time because you're going to be,
less
trying to
work after.
correct that section that maybe didn't get as light as the rest of the hair. So just let it process, let it do its job. Patience is key.
That's it, and especially with the level 9, it's recommended not to go beyond 60 minutes, okay? So when you reach anywhere near that 60-minute mark, it's recommended that that lightener is removed.
Right.
Okay, so we're moving on. We've got a few more minutes here, and then Kelly. See, that's because you said Kelly earlier.
Yes.
I know. You have to forgive me because you've got your Hollies, your Hannahs, your Kellys, your Caras. Oh my God, I get so confused. So I'm usually pretty good with names. The model is called Sophia.
Yeah, Sophia's the
There
easy
you go.
one.
So
Shout out to
I
Sophia.
like that name. That's a change from all the Caras and the Kellys and the Humies and the Hannahs and the Hollies and oh my God. So yeah, so she's moving along, and then once we get to the completion on the actual physical technique here, what we'll do, we'll have Kelly recap exactly what happened, especially with the pre-done side. If we can do that again, Kelly, in case some people have joined us later. We actually do have a side of the hair that Holly prepared earlier, and I'm going to have her take you through that. It's a replica of what she's done here, but she's just going to obviously repeat and let you know exactly how she got to this effect.
Sure.
Because we understand, with the Facebook Live, people come in and out, and we may have some new viewers that are wondering what is going on this side here.
Right.
But let's finish your technique first. Okay.
Gabriella is a proud sister.
Aha.
Hi, Gabby.
Oh, Gabby's in the house and she's waving to us. So, hi, Gabby. So we're waving on screen and we're actually waving through the door. Hi. Because we have a big glass door here in the studio, so Gabby's here supporting, so that's marvelous. Yeah.
Also, Sophia is a future beautician as
Oh,
well.
thank you for reminding me of that.
Yes.
How about this? This is Holly's new receptionist. And what about this for keeping it in the family? This young lady is going to cosmetology school also to be a stylist. How awesome is that? Bravo, fantastic, well done.
Thank you.
Marvelous, excellent.
So working right on up to that mohawk section, same thing, just foiling it out. I like to vary back and forth between a finer weave and a little bit of a thicker weave.
Good, so following kind of a similar pattern, yeah?
Yes. And actually, as Kim said before when she was asking about why I fold in 3s versus 2s, when I get to this top section, I actually do
so she can see it, yeah? There you go. Look at that, marvelous.
I do prefer to fold in half right here on this section because those foils won't be as thick, so they won't get as stacked up, and it leaves you a little bit of a flatter platform to kind of work on top of.
Okay, and if you can work at this angle, it'll make it really great for Cara, yeah?
Sure.
So she can let the viewers see exactly what's going on.
Is everybody enjoying this so far?
Please say yes. Of course. We love our Facebook Live. So I was going to confirm the date of the next one while we're here. Of course, we want to promote. So the next Facebook Live will be on Monday, June 17th, 12 o'clock noon, with our host, Gerard Caruso, who's the creative director. And the guest artist on that day will be his very own Dylan Foster is going to be in the house, and we're talking and we're sharing and we're giving information about summer cuts, haircuts. Ooh, nice little switch for the Facebook Live.
Gerard is so fantastic with cutting. He really
And
is.
we do love cutting hair also, but
Yes.
color is our big world. But
Yes.
we're introducing more and more cutting and options for classes as well. So watch this space. As I said, we're expanding our education offerings. We're listening to you, the stylists, and we're doing our very best to accommodate the desires and the needs of the stylists out there. Because, for me, it's always been my world, and I see the value. And so does E1 Concept as a company, globally, especially here in North America. Really feel we're flying the flag. So. And you're in the room with two great educators right now. So.
Okay, Sarah, to confirm, yes, we are using level 9 on top. And Ozzy says, hey kids, everyone's looking great. Great job as always, Holly.
Hi, Ozzy. Thank you.
Well, I'm really pleased that Ozzy called me a kid as well. That's nice. Thanks, Ozzy. No, absolutely. Nope, doing a fantastic job. Cool.
And notice how she's been keeping her brush nice and clean this entire process.
And I know that there's one certain color ambassador for North America called Tammy Cox.
Yes.
We'll be very proud of that clean brush.
Yes.
because that's part of her world.
It's so important. It
Yep.
really is.
I do think so, because, you know, sometimes it's easy to say, oh, I'm messy. No, I think we have to be careful. Because the thing is, it will compromise your application, doesn't it? Because
Absolutely.
you can get lightener where you don't want it. And has that happened to all of us? Absolutely. So it's very, very imperative to work cleanly. Okay, so we're getting near the conclusion now. Do you want me to pop it down a little more for you? There
We've
you
got
go.
a viewer from Sweden now.
Sweden!
Hi,
Caroline.
Sweden.
Hi.
Awesome!
So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to come here to the front. When I get about halfway through this section, I like to come to the front so that I get that nice bright pop of color right here. So I'll go in and start foiling from the front, and then I'll meet halfway.
Excellent. Oh, I like that little twist. See that? She kept that as a little surprise at the end. So nice. Okay, so you're following the same pattern, but you're now just approaching it from the front. Yeah. Excellent. Again, it's that getting that brightness, isn't it, around the face?
You know what I've seen so many times over, and you know I've done it myself, is when you are in a rush to kind of pull those foils, I feel like these are sometimes those pieces that don't achieve that nice bright blonde. So sometimes I like to just go in, especially when I'm trying to achieve that lightness around the face. That way you can ensure that those pieces are, nice and bright.
Well, they're getting the opportunity to have the maximum processing time, aren't
Right.
they? Yeah, excellent. Good. So again, nice neat application.
Nice and fine section there in the front, around the
Right.
hairline.
And if I may add, when you keep the lightener on the entire time, you're actually making an easier toning canvas for yourself as well, because the lighter your hair gets, the better those toners are going to work.
Yeah, that's good. Nice little segue there, Miss Cara. Because to accompany the Decologic lightning system, we actually do have what are called our Decologic tone controllers. Okay, and this is a fantastic little family of 8 different options. Now, the real secret behind these toners is these are very, very sheer, and they have absolutely amazing healing properties for hair that's just been lightened. It almost like seals the hair, and sometimes when you lighten hair, it can feel a little raw when we wash it off. So that these tone controllers, the key with the Decologic tone controllers, you must achieve a level 9 or 10 in your lightener before you want to apply any of these. Because we sometimes have people apply them, but you're reaching a 7 or an 8. They're not really designed. The hair has to be really, really quite light. Because you can see even as Cara pans in and keep them under the light, they're very, very sheer. Like almost when you open them up, very, very pale. But they're excellent for neutralizing yellow. Platinum, smoky grey will also do it. Even the amethyst grey doesn't always come out lilac. It will take out extra yellow. So that's very cool. The peachy rose, the milky mint, these give hair like that. Almost the peachy rose will give you that kind of rose gold color. Again, as long as you have a 9 or a 10 level. So fantastic. Your ash, if you want to be cooler. The white is particularly great if you want to just slightly diffuse a color. Just say you want the peach or the milky mint, and you thought it was maybe a little too much. You can add a proportion or maybe a half and half mix, and this will help to dilute this color down. Okay, so great range, and the shine on the hair is out of this world. So, but remember, level 9 or 10. Okay?
And also, Brian, something I wanted to add in is utilizing the Pro Equalizer.
Yep. Wow. Well remembered.
Prior to using any of those tone controllers
Yeah.
or any toner that you may use.
So once you've got the hair lightened up, and if you're going to add any other gloss, toning, recoloring, we recommend from the Color Specifics range from Milkshake, the Pro Color Equalizer, because what this does is it balances out the porosity on the hair before you apply the next color, assuring more of an even finish.
Yes.
And it's very, very important. And I know all of us colorists in the company, this is definitely one of the go-to products.
Yes.
And it's recommended, even if you're refreshing a client when she's come back and her ends are a little faded and you're going to fill them in a little, or you're going to enhance the color, make sure you apply this first. So it's the Color Specifics Pro Color Equalizer. Fantastic product. A little magic in a bottle, I would say.
It is. I can't live without it.
Oh, Holly can't live without. And that's what we always talk about. What are the products you cannot live without? And thank you. This is definitely one of them. So there you go. And check out the color specific range. You can look at Milkshake North America. You can go on z1conceptusa.com. All the products are there. If you're not sure about something, check them out. And all the information is there. Because we're giving you lots of information today. So we're getting very close to concluding our Facebook Live, but Holly has timed this very, very nicely. If she gets this complete, as I said, we'll have a quick recap. We want to thank you for staying with us, and we look forward to sharing the finished result. You're going to see more of this on the other side. So pick that up. You can see that under the light. That's that buttery honey blonde that Holly was talking about earlier. Sometimes we don't always have to be super cool coloured,
right.
Especially with darker hair like this. I think it's much more complementary to Sophia's face colour. And you can see our natural colour is still, it's so shiny because remember that little veil? So it's allowed that fine veil of hair to fall down on top.
And I feel like this is a great way to achieve that look.
Yep, great. So a couple more sections, and then we'll have again a quick recap. So this is all about, today's session has really been about knowing how to switch it up. Are we using two different lighteners? Yeah, we've used the clay balayage lightener underneath. But Holly has no worry, because the clay balayage lightener will only give you 4 levels of lift, so she can leave that. She's very confident that that's not going to over-process while she's not finished with the top. And she's also incorporated it with the level 9, and both of them have been with 30 volume. So that's given her like maximum lifting potential. 40 volume can be used if it's freehand. We don't recommend it in the foil because of the heat factor that collects inside the foil. And another element that's recommended by the company, we don't recommend using heat on the Decologic Lightning system. Please allow the natural air temperature to do the work for you. And like we said earlier, leave it that 5 minutes rather than taking it off the 5 minutes early.
Yes. Okay. Another thing I love about this lightener too is I've never had an issue with it swelling or bleeding. It really is very stable and works very, very well in foils or freehand.
Excellent. And part of that reason, remember, good viewers out there, Milkshake Deep Cleansing Shampoo. Yes. Cleanse the hair first, removes the free radicals, any metals, any carbons that are in the hair. They're the elements that will often cause reaction. Sometimes the foils heat up or it swells, and that's often because there's what we call free radicals in the hair. Right. So another great tip for you.
So we're just going to come in here.
All right. Yeah. Is that you completed the technique?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So we're getting lots of compliments. Great alternating of level 9 and clay. Great job, Holly. Great job, Holly and Coach B. There you go.
Coach B.
Hi, Katie.
Fantastic. So let's do this just as a little wrap up. Yeah, sure. We've got like 2 minutes, and I think well done, Holly. The timing is excellent.
Thank you, Brian.
And we'll just quickly recap on, because for those of you that weren't with us at the very beginning, we started the session a little differently because Holly already prepared half of the head, and I'll let her tell you exactly what happened, and then that will give you the information, and then you watch out for the pictures later when we do the full look.
So as you can see, this is our finished product here. I went in with a foiling technique on top and a balayaging technique in the back. That just allows for a lot of dimension through here, some softness, some blonde pieces underneath, but really also gives you that lightness towards the front from being in a foil, and a really pretty melt down through the hair into that beautiful lightness, that honey blonde color that we achieved at the end.
Yep, I love that. I love that buttery honey blonde. If I can have the privilege,
absolutely,
of doing that so that you see that softness in that blonde. Like when you do that, very, very soft, but there's some natural color in there as well. So the diffusion is, much more natural than those kind of like solid blocks that you get. And for me, that's got much more of what we would have called a balayage effect on the hair. So beautiful job,
Thank you,
Holly.
Brian.
So step back into the center.
Sure.
There we go. So we hope that this has been informative for you. I know we've enjoyed it. I know Cara's enjoyed it.
Yes.
Sophia's enjoyed it. And your family's enjoyed it. She brought her entourage with her today, by the way, because she's quite famous now. And I know that Holly's enjoyed it. She did a marvellous job.
Thank you,
and
Brian.
thank you again, Holly. We're very proud of you. Congratulations again on opening your very first salon 2 weeks ago.
Very much.
And being a star of stage and screen a couple of weeks before that when I wasn't around. So,
Yes, it was great.
okay, you've done a marvellous job. So, again, thank you for staying with us. It's all about sharing and caring and giving you those little info bites and use them in the salon. So, Brian Grieve, Director of Education, Z1 Concept, North America, Holly Boswick.
Thank you again.
Bye for now.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.